There's a saying that goes something like this. Two men gazed out the hospital window. One man saw the death of winter on the frozen trees. The other saw the glistening diamonds as the sun shone on the snow. We can see about anything we want to see in nearly any situation. We can see hope in a dark and gloomy day, or we can see misery in a beautiful, sunny day. It all boils down to our perception. Perception is whatever you want it to be. Our perception is a very powerful thing. Not only does it activate our thoughts and mental faculties, it can create powerful physiological responses. Imagine walking down a trail and suddenly you see something out of the corner of your eye. You look and perceive it to be a bear in the woods. You reason for a second and say, it is bear country, and the bears are active this time of year, so it must be a bear. Now your body reacts. You begin to sweat, and fear grips you. Your legs feel like jello, and you start to breathe heavily, all because you perceive it to be a bear. What if you discover that the bear is really just a large tree stump that was covered in dirt and from the distance looked like a bear? We play scenarios like this out all the time. The movement in the grass is a snake, when really, it's a branch we stepped on. The pain in our foot must mean that it's broken when really, it's only fatigue. At times, the danger is real and our perception is reality. In those cases, we still must control how we react and how we perceive the situation. A couple had recently moved into a new home and were getting to know the neighbors around them. The man next door never came outside. They would see him sitting in his living room by the window, looking out the window for much of the day. This bothered the young couple who had two small children. Rightfully so, they were trying to protect their children from what they perceived to be the strange man spying on them every day. After a few weeks, the young couple had convinced themselves that this man must be a dangerous person and who knows what he was capable of. They thought he was trying to get into their heads and intimidate them by his daily ritual. Who sits at a window and stares at the neighbor's house, and he wasn't even trying to hide it. The curtains were wide open, and he would sit as close to the window as possible. They noticed a car would stop by the home once a day and spend several hours in the house. Their imagination was racing based on what they had perceived the man to be. After a couple of months, the husband had enough. He was sick and tired of the man staring at them. As the daily visitor arrived, the man jumped into action. He and his wife approached the car and began to intensely question the woman. What's going on here? Why do you come to this house every day? And why is that man trying to scare us and our children? Scare you? The woman replied in a soft voice. I don't understand. The husband continued. Every single day, that man goes to his window and purposely opens his drapes, gets as close to the window as he can, and intently stares at me, my wife, and our kids. I've had it, and I want it to stop. What kind of psycho is this guy? Exclaimed the wife. The lady put her hands out in a gesture intended to calm the situation. She said, I can explain. The man is named Roger, and he was born blind. The reason he goes to the window and presses as close as he can to the glass is because in the light of day, Roger can just barely make out some of the light. And if it's a really bright day, he may even see what looks to him as a color in the light. Other than that, he can see nothing. Roger is the kindest man you will ever meet, and it would hurt him deeply if he knew what you thought of him. The young couple hung their head in shame. The wife began to cry, and the husband could hardly say a word. We want to apologize. Our perception of Roger was only based on what we saw through the window. We never thought to ask, or better yet, to get to know him before we jumped to conclusions. Roger became the young family's favorite neighbor. He grew close as family to them. They started to bring him dinner, and the kids would sing songs they learned at school. He loved his new friends. Had the couple never questioned their perception of Roger, they would have missed out on a beautiful friendship. Be careful how you perceive people and how you perceive situations, because there's times when things we think are really terrible turn out to be incredibly wonderful.